Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the ending of Maniac, while adding some clarity to this entire limited series. Also, there will be spoilers everywhere in this video, so if you haven't seen Maniac yet, I highly suggest you do, and then come back and then watch this analysis. We first see Owen, an outsider, someone who is considered the black sheep of his family. He's reserved and quiet, and a depressed schizophrenic, who is being told by his father that he has to lie under oath during his brother's trial, having to say that his brother did not sexually assault an innocent woman, which Jed clearly did, and this puts a lot of pressure on Owen. Owen and Annie both have terrible communication with their parents. Annie's dad isolates himself in a box in the backyard, avoiding the loss of Annie's mother, and everything Owen says in his household is deflected, like telling his brothers not to swear so much at the dinner table in front of the other kids, as they all just shrug off what Owen is saying. Another failure of communication is Owen's dad thinking Owen's outbursts and behavior derives from money. The dad's solution to buying ways to fix problems is something that caused Owen to have a meltdown 10 years prior, thinking it would be smart to pay Olivia to marry him, to grow old with him, and to have 7 children. Upon finding out, Owen's mind was racing, questioning even the legitimacy of Olivia's name, and claiming none of this is real, and repeating that over and over again. He suffered from what doctors called a blip, while screaming at Olivia and other bystanders. He was so sure that he was right in the moment, but he was hospitalized and locked in a room screaming for his mom. Being so sure of himself in the situation, it broke him, and since then he found it hard to distinguish what is reality and what isn't. After Owen tells Annie the story of Olivia, Annie doesn't really want to be involved with the death in the room, so she tells Owen, let's go back out there and pretend like nothing up happened, something that Owen's family did to him, and the mindset both Owen and Annie had to grow accustomed to. After these issues with their families were never dealt with, they suppressed all of this trauma, which only worsened Owen's mental illness. And ever since then, Owen finds it difficult to separate what is real and what is fake. He imagines the antithesis of his brother, who delivers Owen important messages like some undercover agent, telling Owen that he will do something big that matters to the world, and that he's not meant to do it alone. In the first episode, Jed threatens to write threatening letters to powerful people in Owen's name, saying Owen has to take them down, using Owen's mental health problems for blackmail. Annie lied about her sister being dead. Annie just keeps her alive by reliving the same tragic memory over and over again when taking the A drug. Both characters are lying to themselves, creating a false reality when we first see them. In a car ride with Annie and Ellie, they played a game where they would make up stories for people they were driving by. Stories that would start fun and wacky, and then end up just getting darker as they continue. Something we see in these alternate realities during the experiment. There's a quote that I kept thinking of while watching Maniac. A quote from Lloyd Alexander, saying fantasy is hardly an escape from reality. It's a way of understanding it. The experiment allowed them to experience new realities, playing out different fantasies, filled with eccentric characters and way over the top stories. Illusions disguising themselves as their real life struggles and repressed memories. Each story revealing something real about themselves and helping them face reality and the actual problems in their lives. These stories helped Annie and Owen escape their lies they were living in. Annie took Ellie inside to bake a cake after their mom left, and since then, she avoided the problem. Annie wasn't honest with Ellie, and because she didn't tell Ellie the truth about how she hated that Ellie was moving away from New York, Annie decided to say and do some hateful things that she really didn't mean. Like, seriously, how brutal was that hotel scene? So they got into a fight, which obstructed Annie's view while driving and caused Ellie's death. So when a vision of Ellie tells Annie, say what you really mean, it's so Annie can be honest with herself for the first time since being abandoned by their mother, and she can start moving on with her life, admitting to herself that she was scared, saying, is that sometimes people leave and I don't know why. She projected that onto Owen, as he could never really trust her in the alternate realities he was put in. She in a sense acted like her mom. However, once she tells the truth and finds out why she's really suffering, she can start to move on. Owen found a way to forgive himself and apologize for what happened during his blip with Olivia. He confronted the life that he gave up when he had his blip. In the thug's life reality of Owen, we see an extreme version of what Owen thinks of his dad, someone who will lack any morals to save the Milgram name, even if it means throwing his own son under the bus. The scene that really stuck out to me was when Jed came in like a wrecking ball and then shot both the officers. In this reality, Jed takes on the role of the black sheep in the family. He opens up to Owen telling him that he loved him and that he's always wanted to be like him. I think this is how Owen felt about his brother. No doubt Owen resented him for sexually assaulting a woman and threatening to send anthrax to powerful people if he didn't lie for him, but Owen somewhat still loved him because nothing trumps blood. Owen definitely cared deeply for Jed's fiance. She was someone that listened to him when he suffered from a lack of communication from the outside world and his entire family. He has a getaway plan that he brings up to her, saying that they could steal Jed's money, change their names, and then move far away somewhere. However, we are stuck with the people we are. Changing our name and location doesn't really change any of the inner problems we have, as Owen finds out when he runs away with Olivia. But when describing his getaway with Jed's fiance, he said they didn't have to be married. They could be brother and sister or friends. And that's the key word. Jed was the one telling Owen, because nothing trumps blood. And this was Owen's mindset, which tore him apart, because his family was the main cause of his problems. The people who are supposed to love unconditionally have a lot of conditions. Owen literally and metaphorically became the hawk from his story, the one that got wounded and nursed back to health. Owen took care of it till the hawk was healthy enough to eat his brother's gerbil. Owen just needed a friend, someone to help him out till he could be okay on his own, so he could be healthy enough to eat his own gerbil in a weird metaphorical way. And we see that in the episode Furs by Sebastian. Annie was that person. They empathize with one another as they both have such broken families. They'd both help each other throughout any bizarre situation. Owen during the trial was telling the truth, to do the right thing, but it was also to help him move on. In the beginning, we see Owen blatantly lie for his brother, almost as if he's convincing himself that the lie is the truth. And his brother was with him that night when committing the crime, as he already had visions of his fake brother. Annie and Owen lied to themselves this entire time because it was easier than facing reality. But Owen is no longer burying the truth and lying to himself. Owen is starting to work out for the first time what is real and what isn't, breaking this pattern of being screwed up by his poisonous and toxic family, as they themselves won't face reality as they look away from the incriminating video in the courtroom. I think when Manta Ray is saying to Annie, "You're healed," he is somewhat wrong. The experiment simply just started her path to healing. No one can be fully healed or fixed from a traumatic event, especially when it's involving your loved ones. Annie says it herself, you're always gonna feel this way. You're just gonna have to figure out how to adjust around it. When saving Owen from the clinic in the end, she is still having some PTSD when in the driver's seat, trying to start up her dad's pickup truck. Earlier in the story, Annie sneaks into Owen's bed. Annie questions Owen about what he would do if they were still in the other reality. What would he use it for? And what kind of fantasy would he have gone into? After some struggle, Owen tells her, I had a plan. We were gonna go somewhere together. We were in a car. We were driving really fast. Someone was chasing us. It felt like an escape. I was just laughing, and I had this huge smile on my face. We were just two people looking out for each other. This fantasy was the reality in the end. Not only does Owen better distinguish what is real and what isn't, but Annie, being a friend, helps him discover how to shape his reality so he can adjust his life around his own issues, so he can find some joy. Owen's imagined version of Jed was right when he said Owen was gonna save the world. His solving of the Rubik's Cube helped save everyone in the lab and caused the experiment to be somewhat of a success. And Owen met a person who mattered to him, as he was not meant to do it alone. In the end, Annie and Owen aren't running away from their problems. They're escaping the lies and traps they were put in. They're just two people looking out for each other and removing the unwanted patterns from their lives. And that was everything I had to say about the ending of Maniac. This is hands down one of my favorite miniseries of all time. Comment below your favorite reality from the experiment. And if you love anything sci-fi, please subscribe to support this channel. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next sci-fi analysis.